You should be able to see my screen. I believe everyone can hear and see my screen, please.
Yes, I can see from my end.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. This class is the second class on the course Introduction to Programming with Python. The first class we did something around data type, and we learned print function, input function, and some basic mathematical operations. And also we had an assignment, we had a class work, a class project that is on, we had a class project that is about dollar to naira to dollar converter, and we had an assignment on BMI. So that BMI calculator will take your weight and your height to check if you are healthy. This is the WHO standard way of checking if someone is overweight, underweight, obese, and all that. Anyway, that is just something to test our knowledge. Today we will have do more than this, but we want to just make the class 1 hour. I was head up in a place that it was not quiet, so I couldn't do the class there. And when I got to where I can do the class, that is when I actually sent the link. So moving forward today, what we want to learn today is all about string and string methods. String and string method. Today's topic is string. Let me make it bolder. So today's topic is all about string. Sorry, I will be leaving the class to accept people in. I forgot to set it to auto. Strings and string methods. That's the topic for today. So what is string? I believe some of us will have our writing materials with us, but as I have promised and our practice in the class, we will be using this screen to pass some notes, and when we do that, we will practicalize what I might have discussed. So what is string? Basically, string is a sequence of characters. It's a sequence of characters enclosed in single quotes like this, enclosed in single quotes like this, that is string will be in between here, or double quotes like this, or this type of quotes. When you have three, or this, when you have any of these three, whenever you see anything like this, that there are characters inside, just know that this is a string. Anyone that joins will please help us to mute your mic. Please help us to mute your mic so that we have a decorum in the class. So anywhere you see in any quote that there are characters in between this type of quotes, or this double one, or this one, we are talking about string. Why is string important? String is very, very important in program. There is no language you will learn where they will not teach you what string is all about. In Python, it is usually used for web scraping. Word scraping is when it is used. The concept of word scraping is that I want to write a program that will get me some information from websites. We normally use some people normally use it to spy some websites like an e-commerce website. I want to be alerted when the price of this good drop to this level. I want to be first person to be alerted. So I've set a web scraper to always check at every interval of 1 hour or 30 minutes or 5 minutes that I've given it the price of the good and everything. So just send it to me at that interval. Or when you get a price that falls below this particular amount, send it to me because I want to quickly make an order. You know, we during Black Friday, blah blah blah, when price fall like that, people will want to be the first person to make an order and buy the good. So we use web scraping to do that, and some other functions we will get to it. I hope we will get to it in the course of our course over time. Now, web scraping, it is used in web scraping, and also it is used to format output. Output is when you have completed your program and you want to you know, normally software is being defined as a piece of code that takes input. When it takes input, it processes it and gives us output. That output we normally use string to format it to make it more presentable. We use string to do that. So I'm sorry I will be going back and forth to accept people. So it will not be like the next class. I will have make it automatic so that anyone that has the link can just join without disturbing us. So it will where I was with that I was explaining how we use it to format output. We use string to display our output. Let's take for instance, this one is an output of a last class. An output of a last class. These are the value we generated from the value we generated from the calculation. This is the value we generated from the user, and we want to include it and make it more presentable than naira value of dollar value equal to naira value. Naira value was calculated here, so and we got the dollar value from the user. So we did all that. We were able to do all that because we have the power of string. You know, I told you that anything in quote like this, it is string. So but today we will have a better way of doing that. So don't let us waste much of our time. Let's have an example of string. Let's say our course equal, let me use double quote. Double quote is being used so much than single quote, but single quote is allowed anyway. So our course is introduction to, let me say, introduction to programming, in order not to waste our time. Introduction to programming, this is a string. What makes it a string is because we have sequence of character inside a quote. Because we have sequence of character inside a quote, that makes it a string. And what we have here, you can perform some calculations, some way of achieving some sequence of string out of this long string. Like how, if I want to access the first letter of this string, I just need to say course, which is the variable I've declared here, into square bracket 0. So the 0 will return to me, this line will return to me the character that for the first character of this string, and which is I. Let us take a look at it. Let me put it inside print so that we can get what this one will give to us, like this. Print course into square bracket 0 means that return the first letter of the string course. return the first letter of the string course, like this. It's not the first letter of the string course. And like I told you in the last class, when you press Ctrl plus tilde, the key before number 1 on the keyboard, on the keyboard line, the keyboard number line, you get this terminal. And this terminal you have opportunity of running your program when it's finished. So it has finished now. So I have this. Okay, so I have this. So we've got the normal way to run our program is to type Python space, then the name of the file, which is $converter.py. So if I type $converter, I don't need to type it, I don't need to complete the typing. I will just press tab to complete it for me. And when I press enter, it will run. Like now I've pressed enter, you can see it returns I. So if you want to get the first character of any string, you use that string name. You use that string name into square bracket 0. So that is taking. I believe we are jotting some things that though this file will be available to us after the class, and the video recorded video of the class will also be available. You are also free to have you are also free to ask questions when you we still have chance to ask questions in this class as well. So let me move. I don't want to be using this file. Let me move it to another file. Cut and paste here. Let me try to. I want to be using app.py. Yes, I prefer to use app.py. So let me comment out this. Let me comment out this and move my program here. Fine. So when I want to run now, you agree with me, I'll just type Python, then app.py, because I'm running it in the app.py file now. So take note of that. So hi is returned. That means my program is working. If I want to get like first 3 characters from the string, how do I do that? I will say print, because I want to display it out. Print is meant to display out the whatever you pass into it. It could be a string, it could be calculation, it could be an expression that will return a value, it could be anything. So print, that's how to, we've learned that in the last class. So let's say I want to say course. If I want to get the first 10 characters from this string, that is, I want to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I will have to say, let's say 12 is 12 now. But I want to get out to the introduction. It will say from 0 to 11. From 0 to 11. You agree with me that 0, 1, 2, 3 to 11 will make 12 characters. So let's try to run the second one. If you have run a file before, if you have run a Python file before, and you want to run it again, there is no need to type Python blah 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 again. If you press your arrow up, it will give you the command you have already typed. If I still press the arrow up again, it will give me the next one after this one, which is this one, So let me demonstrate that to see. And I can use arrow down to return back to where I left. So take note of that too. So when I press enter, I have what I want to run in the command. Then I can just press enter to get introduction. So that means it's supposed to be 12. So if it is 12, it will go to complete introduction. So you can see from here, the program returns from 0 to 12, that is the count of the characters here. The count of the characters here. That's one way to get it. Now, another thing is that you might not know, when I want to get the last character. You know, if I want to get the last character, I can say the one on, instead of number 0 return the first character, and I will now need to know the total number of characters to return the last one. If I put the number here, if it is 13, if it is 12, if it is anything, to return it. But in that way, it will be difficult for me because I might be working with string that I didn't create myself. Maybe I ask a user to input a string. When you input it, I want to get the last character, for the last letter you press on your keyboard. So it will be difficult for me because I don't know the length of the character the user will input by default. So because fact that people can, so someone can enter 5 characters, someone can enter 12. So how do I now do that to get the last one? So there is a trick to do that. The trick is that you just say, let's say print. Print is just to get the output out. So let's say print cos this. When you say print cos -1, -1 will go to will start from back. 0 will start from the front, -1 will start from the back. That means -1 will return this last character G. Let's run our program again and see if it will actually do that for us. And I will use arrow up and press enter. You can see after I introduction, you are saying G, the last one in the series there. The last one in the series. Let me comment out those we have run so that they will not be confusing us like this. Comment out this. When I say I comment out, that means I want to make it ordinary text that the compiler that will run this program will overlook. It will overlook those two and run the last one. Let's see. Arrow up, enter. You can see G as return, which is the last character in the series. Now if I want to run from 0 to 12 like I have done here, I might not need to indicate 0. There is a shortcut to do that too. If you type this, if you type print cos, which is our string, if you just omit that 0 and you go to column 3 or column 12, it is the same thing. This one is the same thing as this one. This one is the same as this. It is the same as this. So if I run this one now, the result I got here, the result I got here is the same result I will get from this one. So let's see. We'll still get introduction like we got the other time. So we got introduction. Let me comment out this one, and we don't need it again. So we got introduction. So that is the first one. Another thing is that you might not bother to indicate the last. Like you want to, we've got introduction using this one. Let us say from, and our string is after this one. If this one is on 12, the space will be on 13. The space will be on index 13 from 2 to the end, which is 14 to the end. So we might not need to specify the end because I don't know the end. I might just say, let me comment out this line so that I have another line. I might just say print cos from, from 14 or 13. I think I said 13, and I will not put anything. If I didn't put anything here, what will happen is that the program will understand that I'm going from 13 to the end. It will understand that I'm going from 13 to the end of the string. Let's try to see if we get the results we expect. So if I don't get the result I expect, that means I'm having semantic error. If the program doesn't run at all, that means I'm having syntax error. So if it runs and it doesn't give me the expected output, I'm having semantic error. You can take note of that. So it is one of the jargon. So you can see I got to programming. I've gotten using this one introduction I've used this one to get to programming. That is, you don't need to specify the end if you don't know it. If you actually know from where to start, but you don't know the end, you might not need to specify the end. It will just continue like this. If I now say print into bracket course like this, and now say I have my square bracket, I only indicate this. I didn't specify the beginning, I didn't specify the end. I'm returning the entire string. It will assume the beginning is 0, the end is the last string, the last character in the string. Let's see if we are going to get introduction to programming from this last code. Arrow up, press enter. You can see we got introduction to programming. Using that, you can work with string and get substring of any substring using this type. You can get any substring using this type. So beautiful. Let us move on to what we call escape sequence. What is escape sequence in string and in programming? Let me close this one for a while. I will still come back to it. Let's say our string, let us say our string is something that has quotes. You know, when you are typing sentence and you want to quote someone, that this word from the beginning to the end was said by someone, it will come this way. Let us comment out or leave this one and create another one. So quotes, let me say quote equals to, we say my daddy, Abi our lecturer, said. From said, things has to be in quotes. You already have these last quotes before, and there is another quote now. Let's now say our lecturer said there will be no class tomorrow. We are having problem. You can see that from here to here it is normal, like what we have introduced to you, but from here to here there are problems, because you can see there are a lot of underline telling you there is problem. Why? Okay, let us try to run it. Let me say I want to print quotes. The code variable I've just created. Let me say I want to print it. If I run my program the normal way we have been doing, Python app.py, enter, there will be a problem. You can see from here there is an underline. It's saying syntax error, and I've told you, if I commit any blunder that has to do with Python itself, it will not run and tell me I have syntax error. What is the error there? It said invalid syntax. That is where escape sequence comes in. If you want to include quotes in your program, remember that quote is part of string literal. It's part of string literals that Python recognizes as part of the what we used to recognize string. So you are now using it as well as part of what you will use to demonstrate that this particular sentence was said by someone. So how do you do that? That is when escape sequence comes in. Like how? If I want to escape this one so that it would come out as I have typed it, and this one, the last one here, to come out as I have typed it, I will use / like this. As I have used / this one disappear, it remains this one. I will also use / to indicate that this one too, they are the escape sequence you will return as you have seen them. Let's now try to print code again. Ctrl+ that to return my terminal command. Let me clear the command screen and print the Python. So you can see our lecturer said there will be no class tomorrow. You can see I've been able to achieve it. That is where escape sequence comes in. That's where escape sequence comes. There are other escape sequence that we will need to get familiar with. You will agree with me that if I want to include, apart from this one, I want to include slash in the text. Maybe for any reason I need to include slash like this in the text. It is just easy for me because this one will come out as I have typed it. So it is also an escape sequence too. So if I want to make from here to the end come to second line from here, from the quote gogon, I want it to appear in the second line. Our lecturer said should just be on a line and there will be no class tomorrow, should be on the second line. How do I do that? Let's move this line to the second line, like escape sequence /n. /n is telling Python that anything after this n should come to the next line. Anything after this n should come to the next line. Let's try to demonstrate that. You can see our lecturer said is on the line. There will be no class tomorrow. Is on the second line. It's on the second line. The project we will do today is what we have been familiar with before. And what is that? Whenever you are filling a form that is taking your profile, that asks you to input username and input password, there are some rules, password rules, that will say your password must be of 8 characters, must have uppercase, must have digits. So we will write a program today using string. You will input any password. We will now check. We will write a program to check if it meets all those criteria. That is our project in the class today. So I just want to use that to give you an application of string and string methods. So now we are now moving to string methods now. String method. Method in Python is a function or a piece of code that performs a task. Sometimes it return after performing the task, it must have modified what you gave to it and return a value. Some does not return any value. So, but generally, method in Python, for the sake of people that are just joining, we mentioned it the other time. Method is a piece of reusable code. So they have written it somewhere. We just want to reuse it. Usable code that perform a task. So it is also called function. In some cases it will be called function. Some cases it will be called. So before I move to method and function now for string, do we have any question in the next 3 minutes? By 6:50 we will continue the class. You can unmute yourself and ask question if you have. From what we have learned, how to get character from string, different ways of getting characters from string, and this string and this escape sequence we just learned. Before we move to string method, let's see if there is a question. We are running out of the time. 2 minutes time, we will cut off the whole thing. So you are free to ask questions. Unmute yourself and ask questions in the next 2 minutes. Waiting for you. So in the absence of, okay, it remains 1 minute. So let us continue in the absence of, hello? Hello? If you are not asking question, you can unmute yourself, please. You can mute yourself, rather. My voice is echoing back. So let's work with string. Hello? Are you asking question?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's not really a question that is germane to the presentation.
Okay.
I just want to solicit if you can please give those of us that missed earlier lectures opportunity to, I mean, like to familiarize what we taught in the class.
Okay, in the last class,
Yes, sir.
there is a. Are you in the group, please? The WhatsApp group.
Ah, I
Yeah.
just found this information on MPAN.
Okay, don't worry. I understand. Please take note of this number. Take note of this number.
Okay.
So this number, just send me a message after the class. I will share the link to the last class. It was recorded and it's uploaded on my channel. I will share the link. You can send me any a message after the class. I will share the link to you to watch the kid, and I will get your number and add you to the group too.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Please help me up. Mute yourself.
Yes, because I don't see
You mute yourself here. If you are seeing my own, excuse me.
where.
You will mute yourself here. Turn off mic.
Okay.
You can mute yourself here.
Is it now?
I can still hear you.
I can see pin.
Mute yourself here where my cursor is, so that we have a decorum in the class. Okay. That's video. That's video. I'm talking about microphone, the one you are seeing here. Please continue to battle with them while we continue the class. Yeah, now string method. String method, I have defined what method is to you. That is to get something, a reusable code that perform a task. Sometimes it return a value, sometimes it doesn't return a value. The first method I want you to pay attention to is length method. That is, if you want to get the length of string. Your voice is still echo, Mrs. Abdurrahman. Please help me mute your mic here. If you are using mobile phone, look for this icon. That is the microphone icon. I press on it. Look for the microphone icon and I click on it. So the first method we want to work with today is learn method. Learn method. That is, let me say learn. The function, the task this one perform is to return. It returns the length of a string. It returns the length of a string. So how do we use it? Example now. Like we have quotes. We understand quotes is a string. If you want to get the length of this, to get it manually, you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah 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 to the end. That will be too tedious. There is a method to do that, and that is what length method does. How? Let's say we have quotes dot len. If you say len like this, it will return the number of characters including space that make up this string. Let's print it so that we can see it in our terminal. You understand that? Let me cut out this method code. You understand that print function already have opening and closing and close bracket. When I now say I want to get the length of a string, I will say quotes dot len. Len too has open and close bracket its own, so you have double close bracket here. One will belong to the length to close the length method opening bracket, and the last one will belong to print that close. You will see that this VS code has use color to differentiate them. This one is yellow and yellow hence this one. This one is purple and purple hence this one. So you have to differentiate it. So if you print this, we will get the length of this string. We will get the length of this string. Let's see. Like I have taught you, you can use your arrow hub to bring up the last command. And sorry, I've done a mistake. Sorry, I've made a mistake. Where I want is that it is quote len of, this is not the usage, this is len, then we pass the string inside. Yes, we pass the string inside. There are some that you use those to work with. So let's see now. Let's see. So you have the length is 55. So to get the length of any string, you use this code. Let me bring it down a bit so that this one can show. So you use this code to get the length of the string. So that's the first method to use. If I want to convert every letter here, I want to convert them to uppercase, that is capital letter. I want to convert them to capital letter. This is how to do it. Let me comment out the length whatever and comment out this so that we now have multiple outputs. How? I will say print, like I want to get the output out. I will say quotes, which is our variable from here. This variable, I'm referring to this one, quotes dot upper. So in the case of this one will take its argument inside here, and this one will take its own, will reference the argument, the method using dot notation. So let's see what the result will be. So the result is that it will convert everything, the quotes, it will create another string, it will convert the quotes to uppercase, that is everything will be capital letter, and display it using the print function we have here. Let's see what we have done. I'm trying to clear my screen. So let's see. So we have our lecturer set. I didn't write it this way. There will be no class tomorrow. It has turned it to uppercase. That is, uppercase means capital letter. I think uppercase is a programming term, but notwithstanding, you are getting familiar with it. Let's learn another string method, which is lower. We will learn another two. We will learn another two we can pick today and call it a day. Sorry, we need to do the, I don't know if we can join back by 7:30 to do the project of the day. 7:30 to do the project of the day, but let's learn another print function, another string function, which is lower. Lower will turn it every letter in that string to small letter. Let's see, print quotes dot lower, quotes dot lower, quotes dot lower. So let's see what the result will look like. Our lecturer said there was in the original string, this one is capital letter, this one is capital letter, this one was capital letter, but it has changed everything to lower. The last one I want us to learn is print, is title. Title will change the first letter of every word in the string to capital letter. First letter of every word to capital letter. Is a magic too that do happen in programming. The title. Let me comment out this one. Title. And run it again from here. You can see our lecturer first letter here, this, and to the end of the string. Just change them to capital letter. We will suspend the class now and we will return by 7:30 to learn one or two string method and build the password verification program that we have always been interacting with on the website, blah blah blah, and learning how to actually do it. So we'll meet in the next 30 minutes, and we want to take questions before we continue, because we have added some knowledge. We want to take questions if there is, then we'll continue by 7:30, God willing. So I will send another link that we'll use to join after I have stopped this class. Those of us that want to join the Python group, this is the group. This is all that want to join the Python group. Remember to send a message to this number to have the group link, and as well as the last class link. We just add a class with the last class links to be abreast of what we have learned. So thank you for your time. So the last class we stopped at strings and string method. We were able to convert string from title case to uppercase to lowercase and back to title case as the case was then. So let us continue with some other string method. There is this string method that we need to be aware of. We will use it tonight in our project. It is called upper. Upper. We also have lower. I believe everyone can see my screen, please. I was supposed to ask before. So if you can see my screen, just hit a thumb up like this.
I can see from here, sir.
Thank you so much. If you missed the first class, please chat me up on this line. I will send you the group link where you will get a link to the channel where the recorded class was uploaded. Chat me up on this line. I will still show the line later, so that's not a problem. So thank you. I can confirm that all of us can see the screen. We have his upper, we have his lower, we have his digits, we have his digits. Okay, someone wants to check. We have his digits, and let's work with this method. His upper, his lower, his digits, they will all return Boolean value. If you were in the last class, Boolean value will not be new to you. That is true or false. His upper is asking if what you pass to it is uppercase. His lower is asking if what you pass to it is a lowercase letter. His digit is asking if what you pass to it is a digit. That is, it is not letter but digit. So let us try to make use of this one and do some example with them. Number 1 is upper. Now let me pass let's create another string and see. Okay, we can use that old string as well to confirm if everything in that string is upper or not. Let's say let us say we have, quote is where our string is saved. I'm sorry, some of us missed the last class, but I will be going back and forth a little bit. This is a variable. This is what is stored in the variable. You can see we say this one should equal to this. What it means is that save the value of this, all what I have selected. Sorry, what I have selected here. All this, save it into this quote. So whenever I'm referring to quote, I'm referring to the entire string. So are we getting it? I'm referring to the entire string. Let us now say print quote dot is upper. Quote dot is upper. Definitely, from what we have now, the modification we did to quote be last. Okay, from what we have now, we have cancelled that modification, we have commented it out. From what we have now, everything here are not uppercase. That means the return value for its upper now will be false instead of true. Let us check. So let's check. And I told you you can use arrow up to bring back the last command like this. We got false. So I'm coming, I need to admit someone here. So we got false. Let's work with its lower too. Print. Okay, let me demonstrate when it can be true here. Now let's say I've already done something that said quotes dot upper. It's different from its upper. Quotes dot upper will convert everything, all the string to uppercase. If I now test if quote is upper now, you agree with me that I will get true because I've already converted it to uppercase. Uppercase. Don't worry if you are missing some points. If some points are looking strange to you because you are just joining for the first time, it will be strange. Just send me a message on this line by the time you watch the last class, you get better understanding of what we are talking about here. So cut.upper have converted the quotes to uppercase. It will return something that will convert it to uppercase. If I now say you have converted the code to uppercase now, store it here. Excuse me, let me do it this way. Uppercase underscore quotes. That is a version of code that is uppercase. A version of code, whatever the result you will give to me, that is a version of code that is already store it in here. And I want to test if what you have stored here is actually a uppercase. Just to test. I'm not displaying that string now. I just want to test. I will just say uppercase code.isupper to confirm if what happened here actually, what was supposed to happen here actually happened. So let's see if it actually happened by testing our code again. I'm supposed to get true because I've converted it to uppercase and saved it here, and I'm testing that what I've saved here if it is actually an uppercase. Let's see. Brown. So I got true. You know, in the first class we have demonstrated how you can display the actual string. What we are testing now is to check if it is actually an uppercase, and it is. So if I change this one to lower now, lower, we learned in the last class that, please kindly help us mute your mic. Lower underscore quote, that is lower version of the quote. Now let's say lowercase to make it. That person should help us mute his or her mic. It is disturbing the class. So I will now say is lower now instead of is upper. Is lower to confirm if what happened here actually, if what's supposed to happen here actually happened. Let's see. We'll get true. Let's see. True. You can see now everything is now lower. What we are testing now is that the entirety of the string, we have converted it to lower, and we confirm that it is actually lowercase. It's actually lowercase. It's digits now. Let me create another string. This is a string. My number is a string, and it's everything here are digits. Fine. So let me say my underscore number equals to this number I have been asking you to chat to get the group link and the channel link. So I want to confirm if my number is actually a digit. My print my underscore number dot is digit. So you agree with me that I will get true. Let's see if actually I will get true for this first one. Let me comment this one out, and I will get true for this one now. So I'm just testing digits now. I've tested upper and lower. I just changed that upper to lower to upper to lower because they are almost the same. They are, you understand when you are working with it. So let's test for digits now, please. So digit, and it's true. It's true because everything here under my number is digits. Everything we have here is digits. So we have been able to test is upper, is lower, and digits. Let's try to do some manipulation. Try to do some manipulation to our earlier string, which is quotes. Our earlier string now, which is quotes. How? What do I mean is that there are some methods we can use to sometimes when you receive text from user, you ask user to enter text. Sometimes it will be prefaced with empty space or end with empty space. There is a way to remove those empty space like this. Sometimes some people want to type the number, they will first of all type space or end it with space like this. So there is a method to remove these two spaces automatically, that it will return something that doesn't have space. Let me first of all print this my number. Let me uncomment it. Let me first of all print this my number. You will see that the space will come out with it, and I will now use a string method to remove those two spaces. So let's see how we can do that. Let me first of all print my underscore number. You use arrow up to get this one down. You can see, if you notice that there is a space here, you can see this one is there. There is another one here too. So, but you cannot see this one because it is we have other spaces in front. But I want you to agree with me that it is there. It is there. So now let me remove this one here, so that you will notice that the difference between this one and that one will have removed. They will have shifted this 0 to this and remove this space, shifted this 0 leftward. Now let's see. Dot. Let me now say, if I want to print now, let me say print my number dot strip. Because I don't know if everybody here Yoruba can't join us. So so they want to remove those spaces and strip it off. So let's see the difference between the first print and the second print now. So let's see. So you agree with me that the first one has leading space, the second one doesn't have leading space. So automatically the space here too have been removed. The space here too have been removed. So that's how to remove those white spaces, especially if you don't need it. There is this thing that do happen. We can replace part of the string with another string. We can replace part of the string with another string. As in how? Let's say if you are working, some of us that have worked with Microsoft Word, there is find and replace. So it will find it and replace it with another string. Let's see how we can do it in Python. Let's see how we can do it in Python. This trick is very, very essential, because people that will go into data analysis, data science, and web scraping too, they will definitely work with this method that I want to show us. Let me comment out these two. If you want to comment out any code so fast, I cannot be typing $sign. I mean this what do I call it? I don't know. I can't remember the name now. So I cannot be typing it if there are 3 lines, 4 lines. So I have it code trick. If you press Ctrl and forward slash, it will just comment out everything you have selected. So that is, you can jot that one down and use it whenever you need it. So I want to replace from these codes. I want to replace lecturer with professor. I want to replace lecturer or with teacher. Very close. I want to replace lecturer with teacher. So let's see how we can do it. Quotes is what has all this text. Let's see how we can do it. We'll say quotes dot replace. There is a method we call replace. Replace will take 2 arguments. It will request for the old string that you want it to look for and what you want to use to replace it. Let's go lecturer lecturer. Replace it with what? Teacher. Replace it with teacher. Let me see if the way I wrote my lecturer is correct. So replace lecturer with teacher. So now print the results, so that you will see that instead of our lecturer set, it will now becomes our teacher set. Let's now print the result. You know, when we want to print, you have to print opening quotes. Then at the end of the day, you will complete it with the close opening parenthesis and close parenthesis. Complete with close parenthesis. And I've told you it's the color. The differentiation will tell you which one owns this one. This one is for replace. You can see they are purple. This one is yellow. It is for print. It is for print. So now what we are expecting now, when we print quote dot replace now, is to have our teacher set instead of our lecturer set. So let's see if you get that. You can see it has changed from our lecturer set to our teacher set. You know, those people, this replace method is one of the favorites of people in ethical hacking. They want to replace like 1,000. You have like 10,000 words. You want to replace some words. You just give them those words, and what you use to replace it and loop through. You just loop through, blah 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 blah. They will have replaced millions of words in 2 seconds. So it is a favorite to people in the ethical hacking. I don't want to say people in hacking. People that hack, that are not ethical hacker, they are thieves. So that is not our key here. Now let's see another method that we need to know. Another method that we need to know about is in. There is one thing we call in. In will check is there will be a string before in, and where they want to check for that. Let me write it out so that you will see, and I will use that opportunity to explain. In is in that you know. In my introduction, the first video is on the channel too. I explained that Python is so easy to learn because you write every code in English. You know, print. Everyone know that when you hear print, you want to get some output out. So it is not so difficult. It's not so difficult. So it is just easy to learn. In is that in. Let me just write this code and see if you understand. If I say lecturer, or let me say set, quote set, string set in quotes. What am I saying here? Is there set, the word set, in the string quotes? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, is there word set in quotes? The answer will be true or false. If it is available in quotes, truly, the answer will be what? True. If it is not available in there, the answer will be what? The answer will be false. Let's see. Let's print the result. Print, open parenthesis, and close one. So the result I'm expecting here is true because set is in quotes, definitely. So let me comment out this one using forward slash and control and forward slash. So I'm expecting this last line to give me true because there is set in quotes. Let's see. Python. So true. Set in quotes. Set is actually in quotes. Set is actually in quotes. Let's now test for word that is not in quotes, like say. Say is not in quotes. You expect to get false. Yes, bravo. So we got false because say is not in quotes. This is just to test for availability of a word in a string. Maybe you ask user to enter some string, you have to confirm if a word is in there. If a word is there and that word is violating the rule of the text you ask him to enter, you just return to him that you have entered wrong sentence or something. There is not in, there is not in. Not in and in, they are almost the same. This one is testing if this word is not in, and when in return false for this expression, definitely not in will return true because say is not in quotes. Say is not in quotes. So remember to put quotes in this word because it is a string. You want to check if a substring is in a string. So let's see if the answer will return true as expected. We got true because say is not in quotes. Say is not in quotes. So at this junction, let us try to create a password verification program that we wanted to create. Let's try to create the password verification program that I wanted to create. And in this password verification program, there will be some things we are not familiar with, or we should try to let us do text analyzer. There is two projects I wanted us to lay hands on in this class. Is either we do text analyzer but I've checked through text analyzer, the code I will write for text analyzer, most of it we've done those methods here. Let's work with text analyzer and leave password verification program till later time. When we learn, there is one thing that is in there that will require some explanation, and it will not be pleased with us because we are just learning. So I want to create a new file now. I created this app.py. I created this. Now the file I want to create now, I will show you where to create file, how to create file, and what extension is required to recognize that this is a Python file, like I've told them in the last class, those people that attended the last class. You can see this symbol at the side here, the one that looks like a copy symbol. When you click on it, you have a pane like this. Inside this pane, just click on new file. When you click on new file in here, you have opportunity to type the name of the file. Let me say text underscore analyzer. Now if I just say text analyzer and press enter, it will not recognize that this text analyzer is a Python file. How do I indicate that it is a Python file? By putting .py. You can see the logo change immediately. If you notice, if it doesn't have python.py, it just have this logo, and whenever by the time I put .py, it changes to the logo of Python. Okay. So sorry for people that didn't understand Yoruba. So when I press enter, my Python analyzer, text analyzer becomes visible, and I can now write my text analyzer. Now, what do I want to do? You know, this is the problem we want to solve. A user will enter text, any text or whatsoever. I want to get how many words, any sentence of a thing. I want to guess how many words is in the sentence. What is the total length of character of the input we got from the user? What text can I test? What text can I test? What text can I test? Does it contain uppercase? Does it contain uppercase? And let's test for those three things and print out the results. Let's test for those three things and print out the result. So this is how I handle problem. This is a problem that I want to solve, because there is something we call pseudocode or algorithm. Specifically is pseudocode here. It's a step-by-step you want to follow to solve a problem. If you want to solve any problem in programming, you need an algorithm. Some programmer, like, when you are doing something often and often, you become familiar with it. You don't need to start writing algorithm. Your algorithm is in your head. In fact, code of 1 million lines, sometimes the algorithm is in your head. You start releasing it one at a time, but best practice is to write the algorithm down somewhere. So let me write my algorithm for this problem, test analyzer. The first thing I want to achieve, let me call it algorithm, that is steps to solve this problem. Let me say this problem. So what are the steps I want to take? Let me hide this pen so that we have a larger screen to work with. Thank you. Control B will do that for you. Control B will do that for you. So if you are interested, jot it down. So now the first thing is that I want to get a sentence from user. When my program runs, I want to get sentence from user, like a sentence, like write anything. Just write anything, like a sentence. I want to get a sentence from user. The first step is to get a sentence from a user or from user. So that is I need a way to allow them to type something in here. If you take cursor, where my cursor is here, I need a way to allow them to type. When the program runs, the program will have a cursor blinking, asking them to get to input a text with a cursor with a prompt, asking them to input the text. That is first thing. When I get the text, I will test for number one. I will test if everything he has typed is uppercase or lowercase, and the last thing I will check for the last two things. I will check for the length, and I will check for I will count the number of words in the text. How? Number one, the first thing is to check for uppercase. Check for uppercase. The next thing, check for lower case. The third thing, check check let's say get, excuse me, I wanted to write it in capital letter. Get the sentence length. Yes. Then the last thing, number of words. Get the number of words that make up the text, the sentence rather. So we want to know how many words made up the sentence. We want to know the total length. If I say how many words, I mean those isolated words. But if I say total length, it is different. The difference is that the length will count the spaces in between those words are long. That's the total length. But the number of words, it will pick each word one after the other. Let us print these results. Print these results. If it is if you enter everything in uppercase, if you enter everything in lowercase, the number of lengths, and so we are expecting 4 outputs. So let us continue. The first thing is to get the word from the user now and save it somewhere. So let's say sentence. That's the name of the variable. what we use in Python programming, we discussed it in the last class. What we use in Python programming to get inputs from user with prompt is what that function or method. What I called method the other class was that a piece of reusable code that perform a task. The task that what perform this task of getting sentence or input from user is the function name is called input. That input has parentheses like this. To make it interactive, write your prompt, that is enter a sentence. So enter a sentence. Remember to put this last white space so that, because this one will be blinking together with the white space, so that in front of it the user can type the sentence. The user doesn't need to type the sentence in quotes because it is not in the code now, it's running it. So that's the first thing I ask us to look for. Now, sentence will have, by the time the user enter the sentence, it will be saved here. So we can now use string method to work with the sentence saved inside here. Like how? The first thing I want to check is for upper. I will say sentence dot is upper to confirm if everything you has entered is upper. I will say, because I will print it later, I said I will print it later in here. I will have to save it somewhere. The results of this, true or false, I have to save it somewhere. Let me call it is upper. Is underscore upper. It must not be is upper. Is underscore upper equals to sentence. What this line means is that check if everything that user enter is in uppercase and store the result in A. We work with is upper the other time. Store the result in A. That's one. We have is lower too. It's lower. So in programming, sometimes we are lazy to repeat ourselves. So what do we do? I will just copy this one, paste underneath here. What do I need to change? Upper and upper here. So I will just say upper. Change it to lower. Change this to lower. Come in here to change this one to lower. The second thing I want to check, the length. Now, length. I can create a variable called length. Call it sentence dot, length of sentence. Length of sentence. This one will return how many characters. I'm not talking about words now. How many characters are there in the program? So character includes space, special character like percent and the dots. Everything that is on keyboard, they are characters. So now the last one, words, that is number of words. How do I get it? There is one thing I gave you the other time. There is one method. Oh, I thought it. The method is cross splits. Split method will split sentence into components. Let me say where it's the component based on the parameter you pass in here. It is like this. If I say if I say sentence dot split now, what will I get? I will get list of words. I will get list of words in the sentence, because what I have indicated here automatically is white space. Let me bring up an example. Let me go back to app.py. I was trying to remember, there is a method that is important to me that I wanted to teach you, but I forgot. I'm so sorry for that. It was when I teaching this strip that I remember, but I later forgot before I got to the place. Anyhow, now we have this quotes, which is our lecturer said, blah blah blah. I want to get our separately, lecturer separately, set separate, set with this column separately, this one separately. So how do I do that? I'll use splits. Let me use splits to first of all demonstrate that for you here before we go to our main work. Let's say quotes dot splits. What will you get? Let's print quotes dot splits, first parenthesis and the second parenthesis, like this. So let's print it, this one app.py. We are still on app.py. So let's see what we have get. You can see I get our separately, lecturer separately, comma separated now, set separately, there with all this separately, will separately. So I have access to this now, to bunch of this. We call it list of words in it, because how do I get that is that I have indicated here by not typing anything what it will use to split those strings. Split every when you are moving on the sentence, split wherever you find empty space. That's why it's able to split our from lecturer, because there is space between our and lecturer. There is space between lecturer and set. There is space between, there is no space between this column and set. That's why it's grouped them together. But there is a space between column and these quotes in our original sentence. So that's what split does. So if I'm able to get all this out, I have list of words. What is left to me is just to get the length of this list. Automatically I got the length of the words in the sentence. If I'm able to get the length of this list, I have gotten the length of the words, because everything in here are words. So if I'm able to get the length of this list, I've gotten the length of the word. That's the idea. So let's implement it. Let's implement it. Now I will now say learn this of this now. I show you what it will return, which is a list. And I'll say the length of the list should be saved in words. Let me say number of words. What number? Let me leave it as that. We understand what it means. Let me say number of words to have a meaningful number underscore of underscore words. Number of words now. So we want to start printing them one after the other. Let me see. The first one is lower. Let me print upper. Is upper now. Is underscore upper. I will get true or false answer. The second print is underscore lower. I will get true or false answer. The length, which is length, print length. I will get number, because number the length of the something. Then the print now for the last one is number of words, as I have it here. So I will get the number of words. Let's see first 1 2 3 4. If I'm able to get what I type, I will first of all be the one to type in this one. I will be the one to type in the sentence this thing will work with. That is dynamic way of working with string. I don't know beforehand what user will type. User can type anything. So whatever he types, check for all those 4 criteria. Let's see if we are able to have it. Let me clear this screen off so that we have empty. Let me bring it up small. So that we have, because we are going to have some results in here. Now it will not be Python. Instead of app.py, I'm working with text analyzer now. Text. If I type text and press tab, I will have it completed for me. If I press enter, what you'll be expecting is enter a sentence, because that's the first code I wrote. That's the first code. Enter a sentence. Let me say my sentence is, my name is Jele. What's happening to my shift key? Jele Kolapo, comma, I have a software developer, full stop. So this is my sentence. When I press enter now, let me write everything in lowercase. I don't want any uppercase at all. Let me write everything in lowercase. I want to change those capital letter to small letter. It's just for the sake of this program. Small letter, K, small letter, I, small letter. That's all. So if I press enter now, under the first thing should be false, the second one should be true. You should know the expected output to your output. That the number of words, I don't want to bother myself. It will give me the number of words, the length and the number of words. You agree with me? Just answer it within yourself. Between the number of words and the length, which one will be bigger? Figure. Answer it within yourself. You will confirm if your answer is correct or not. So let's press enter to run the remaining part of the code. Bravo. So we have false for the is upper. We have true for the is lower, because everything I typed from my name is blah 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 blah, they are lowercase. Then the length is 52 characters. The number of words are 10. Let's count it ourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see there is space between this one. Is a word. Is a word. So to sorry, I've missed the counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's why we have 10 words. And you can see I'm able to do a text analyzer for us. Let us take questions. Let us take questions. Let us take questions. Now, from this is our project for today. We're able to now analyze this way to get the length, to get the lower, if it is lower, if it is blah blah blah, you know. We're able to do that. And let us ask questions for the next few minutes. If there are questions, let's entertain those questions. We are leaving in 14 minutes time. We are leaving in 14 minutes time. So let us ask questions, please. So let us ask questions. If there is, let's ask questions. Don't bother to ask questions on the last class you missed. When you have access to the group, you will see a pinned message. I pinned some messages. So those messages that are pinned, you will see in there how to configure your computer to run Python code. That is one. You will see the last class link. You will see the last class link. That's 2. Then the 3, you will in there, in the last class link, there is on a channel. So I implore you to subscribe to the channel, so that when I drop new video in the future, I will be dropping some little video. When you watch, I was about dropping a video today, but I have to jettison it because of where I was. So I will be dropping some tips. This is an introductory class. We don't have every access to do everything. So some tips that I decide not to cover in the class, I will definitely want to do some tips about it and drop it in the channel. So I'm taking question now. Hello, I can hear you. Good evening, man. I cannot hear you clearly. there is something doing koko in your on your from your mic, and it's making you.
My question is that this chat that we are plotting the questions on, that we are making use of the chat, what's it called? Is it on Excel or where can we find it?
Which has
Chat that we are printing on, that we are pasting the question on.
everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The in this platform is called VS Code. There is a Word document in the group. When I send you the group link, I pin it. There is a Word document in the group. It will tell you how to download this, tell you how to configure the entirety of your computer to run this type of code. Is in the group. If you have any question when you have access to that file, that Word file, and you are unable to configure your computer or something, so you can ask question in the group. So thank you.
Okay. Sir, sir, from the, can we now say that code quote is the same thing as sentence?
They look alike, but it is not the same thing as sentence. Actually, I can use sentence to explain code. How? You know, sentence has rules you have to follow to write a meaningful sentence. Code has syntax, and that is what we have been doing since. You know, when I say you should write input, I say put open parenthesis in front of that input. I don't say put space like this. If you put space like this, you are missing the thing syntax. That is, you are missing you are used to use sentence to explain that you are missing the grammatical rule to write a meaningful sentence. To write a meaningful code, you will need to follow syntax. So it's like an English
There may
sentence.
not necessarily be space in quote.
That should, no, not like that. In this particular case study I'm using to explain, there shouldn't be space like this.
Then what what also makes it different from string?
And what makes it different from string is that this quote you are seeing will be included wherever you see string. So that means enter a sentence is a string in here.
Okay. Then also, I can gather that print is like a query language.
Is a
Is it
command
okay?
language to tell the
Command
to
language.
tell the Python file to display whatever you pass in there.
Command language. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I implore others to ask questions where it is not clear. So today it will be like magic. Actually, what I promised to do in the class, we were able to do it. But nevertheless, I know some of us will feel like this thing is intimidating us. It is not like that. When you watch that last class video, you get better understanding. You watch last class video and later come back to watch this video, it will now be more clearer. You call yourself a Python programmer. Is there any other question?
Hello, sir.
How is
Please,
it?
sir, you said that what we promised to do today, we are able to do it. We are not able to do it here, though. We
Yeah,
still remain
password verification.
the
Please help me. I've kept it somewhere.
okay.
You know this one we did in class today. We understand it because everything I use in here is what I have taught you today. But there is one single thing that is in Python verification code that I have wrote that I discovered that you will not understand. So instead of laboring myself to understand it, and we are going to it, by the time we get to it, I will explain it in detail. When you get detailed explanation, when I now use it in the project, it will not look strange to you. That's why I just drop password verification to text analyzer.
Okay, sir.
I'm with
There
you.
is still this thing that crossed my mind. You
Okay.
know, uh, before we got to uh, sentence analyzer,
Okay.
what do we call it?
Yes. Text
Text
analyzer. Yes. You can call
sentence
it.
text okay, text analyzer. Before we got to that place, you taught us some things
Some spring
before we
method.
got to that point.
All these ones.
Yeah,
All these ones. Yeah.
but I just want to say that I don't see much difference, much difference from what we thought before we got to the sentence analyzer. Like
Eh,
everything looks alike.
yes, they will.
I think
This is a project. This is this part is introducing those things that we need in the project for to you. I've introduced his digit, I've introduced his lower, I've introduced split, I've been able to introduce strip, everything like that to you. His upper, all those things I've been able to. So I now use those knowledge we gathered here to create a project. For you, when you have your own, you can enter any text and check for number of words, check for the length, check if it is uppercase, check if it is lowercase. So we are just using the knowledge from the previous class
okay, I got it.
in here. Application
Okay,
of
those ones
those yes, application of those knowledge, that is what we did here.
mm, thank you, sir. Really
you're,
appreciate.
you're welcome. You're welcome. So I will wait for the next 2 minutes to entertain more questions. So if there is no question in 2 minutes time, we'll suspend the class till Saturday. The next class is Saturday 5 p.m. Our normal class is Thursday and Saturday 5 p.m. God willing. So every Thursday, every Saturday, we come to class to learn new thing in Python. So our aim is to bring in people that doesn't have computer background and teach them in a layman language how Python works. And I believe I've been able to do justice to that by telling you in a layman. We were not taught this way, but I know my audience are coming from different fields, and I want to break it down to them to a level that they will definitely understand. So we have been able to teach you some things today. If you watch the last class, join it with the one we learned today. Definitely you get better understanding. I usually would like to give an assignment, but I don't want to bother you because you are just joining. You have a lot of work to do. You watch the last class 1 hour 30 something minutes. You watch this one. I think it's up to 2 hours or something. So you have a lot to cope with before the next class. The next class is just next tomorrow, which is a Saturday. So I think there is no question for now. So let us suspend this class. Hello, I'm with Alex, I'm with you.
Don't say my question is too much now. This Python of a thing, I mean the algorithm now,
Okay.
the programming. How relevant is it to our accounting work?
So much. You know there are some fields. Let me tell you, you know about the layman way I can quickly use to explain to you is that you know your Excel. You know when you say Excel, there are some things that you cannot do in Excel just by clicking or typing some formula, blah blah blah, enter this cell, paste it here, blah blah blah. You work with macro. If you want to work with macro is the programming side of Excel. So learning all this will give you ability to have some programming knowledge to work with macro. That is one. Number two is that you are the one that work with figures. You work with you do some calculation, you do some automation, you automate some things. because your accounting package, customer will just come and buy one thing. It has placed it in different legs of account. What makes that thing possible is programming, because what we are interacting with is called software. So the knowledge of software, data analysis, you sometimes you analyze data too, you analyze some data too. So it's the area where those things has been very very useful to your field to mention, but some a few. So we cannot finish how programming is relevant to your field. And some people are in the recent time migrating from being an ordinary accountant to a powerful one. Powerful one I mean is the one that can perform some magic, the one that can perform some magic. So this meeting will end in the 10 minutes time, so it will not be advisable to allow anybody join again. So let me just wrap it up and say it is very very useful. It is very very useful to your feet. It's very very useful to your feet in
Hello,
different
hello,
ways.
sir.
I'm with you, sir.
Please, in case there is anybody that want to join, it's good you admit. The person may not be from the group.
Okay.
At least the person will be able to join the group.
The network has the network has deleted the person I wanted to join. Network has deleted. Alright, sir. So this is where we will call drop the curtain for today's class. We'll meet on Saturday, God willing. So if you are interested in joining the next class, you might need to beep me on my WhatsApp line so that I can give you the link to the group